Jeff Kitzmiller here from the National Weather Service. Here's your planning briefing recording on Thursday, June 13th. First up, it looks pretty windy on Saturday. We're seeing some increased probabilities for wind gusts over 40 miles per hour, a pretty broad area of that, and some thunderstorms that could enhance those winds. Then looking ahead later in the weekend and early next week, widespread rain, snow, cooler Monday and Tuesday. Seeing an increasing threat for snow accumulations above 5 to 6,000 feet, and there's even a 10% chance for impactful snow in the valleys. And what are we worried about? We're worried about backcountry impacts, Forest Service roads becoming impassable, people trying to get out in the backcountry and not being prepared for the cold and the wet and the snow. Um, Heavy wet snow weighing down tree limbs, damaging trees, causing power outages, and even potential for travel impacts over the higher passes like Homestake, McDonald, Lost Trail, and Marias Passes. The weather threat matrix is really highlighting that potential for the high impactful snow going on that Monday and Tuesday. And then here's the probability of wind gusts over 40 miles per hour. And we can see just a lot of these yellows and oranges that are representing somewhere above 80% probability of wind gusts over 40 miles per hour on Saturday. But the big picture, the big focus that we're looking at is this cold trough low pressure system. And looking at the snow potential here, we have our actual forecast that we will put out today showing down to 5,000 feet. We have light snow accumulations. And as you get higher in elevation, much more snow accumulations where we're seeing some pretty high amounts as you get up to around 7,000 feet or higher. But giving some context here, there's still a lot of range of what could happen. And one of those lower end, if we look at the 25th percentile, is showing that if you got down to 5,000 feet, we wouldn't have an issue. So that's if this whole weather system doesn't really play out as we're looking at now. And if we get to the 75th percentile, so not even the highest, but just a higher end amount, we see a much more impactful snow event showing up. And this is if we get these low pressure systems set up and pass through the region and cause heavy precipitation, which starts as rain in a lot of places and then brings that snow level down. Kind of reminds me of this May 23rd that we just had with a narrow area of snow that ended up happening even down to valley locations because the low set up just right. There's still uncertainty, though, like I'm saying, with how these winds are going to or how the lows are going to play out. Now, looking at some of the events that we've seen in the past, June 4th, 2001 and June 11th of 2008, both of these events had impactful high elevation snow accumulations and snow accumulations down to 2,800 feet that caused power outages, tree damage. Even though this one isn't perfectly showing up like these at times, some of our model runs are showing that these two types of weather systems are possible. We're looking a lot closer as we get more details, but one thing we're seeing is increasing confidence of the snow. Every time we sit down, there's more and more of the models pointing toward this wet snow pattern. Looking just a quick glance at some rain, it's going to be a wet weather system. It seems like in a lot of cases that is going into higher confidence of there at least being a pretty big area of 1/2 inch to 1 inch rain, and then some maybe other areas higher terrain, maybe some focused areas that have higher and maybe 2 inch plus rain. Now, this is a pretty complicated weather system that is going to have a lot of changes. We'll be issuing other products that'll give more detail, and we'll also be working on sending out additional emails for details. But if you have any questions in between now and the additional details, please let us know. And it's definitely time to prepare for a very, very late spring, winter type system.